You're listening to Humans in the Loop, a show about work, worth, and what it means to be a person in a world that sometimes treats you like a part. Today, you're hearing a Backchannel, a candid, unfiltered conversation from the other side of the org chart. Because whenever big changes hit, layoffs, reorgs, the fallout, there's always a story behind the script. Sometimes, it's the story of someone who had to deliver the news. Not because they had a choice, but because they happened to be in the room. This is Out of Nowhere, a conversation with Frank, a manager who thought he was prepared for anything until the layoff script landed in his inbox. Until it was his team, his colleagues, his responsibility to bear. What happens when the people who protected your company's conscience are erased overnight? And what does it feel like to be left behind? So when you first heard the news about the layoffs, about your team, what was going through your mind in that moment? Can you walk me through how it actually landed for you?
I didn't think it would be them. I mean, I knew cuts were coming. We all did. You hear things, you see signals. But the AI ethics team, they were the ones you go to when you're not sure if something's okay. When the answers aren't in policy, but they're in people. They were careful and brave. And then they were just gone. No transition, no thanks for your work. Just a vague internal post and a new Jira routing path that goes nowhere.
It sounds like you and the AI ethics team were really intertwined, especially on those sensitive projects. What was that collaboration actually like, day to day?
Yeah. My team had 3 active builds touching sensitive spaces, user feedback loops, model transparency flags, even some accessibility stuff. We had standing check-ins with their lead. She was good. The kind of person who made you pause, even when you didn't want to. Now we've got a Slack channel with no admin and a note to escalate through product. It's like erasing the brakes from a moving car.
I mean, that's a huge loss, not just for your team, but for the work itself. Did it feel, destabilizing?
It is. And they didn't just take the people, they took the clarity. I mean, there was no plan. Just a meeting, a script. I got it the night before. Do not personalize, do not deviate. Like grief can be standardized.
When it came time to actually deliver the news, to look those people in the eye, even if it was on a screen, what was that like for you? Do you remember what you were feeling right then?
Like I was in a play. A bad one. And I wasn't even the lead. I was just the guy standing in front of the cast when the curtain dropped. People I respected were looking at me like I was them. Like I was the company. But I wasn't. I didn't make the call. I just delivered it. And now I'm still here, waking up at 3 a.m., refreshing decks I don't believe in, writing team updates I can't bring myself to send.
When you're living through layoffs, no one talks about the basics, like, taking care of yourself. Sometimes it's not the strategy slides or the all hands that get skipped, it's the shower. If that's you, you're not alone. Luckily, there's a solution for that.
Let's be real. Showering isn't just a task. It's a sensory nightmare. The water is too cold until it's scalding. Your skin goes from dry to wet to dry again. There's steam in your nose, hair stuck to your face, and don't even get me started on the smell of 8 different products trying to scream refreshing all at once. If you've ever looked at your shower and thought, nope, not today, you're not alone. That's why there's Rebel Rinse. It's not a replacement, It's a pause button. One spritz, and you've bought yourself time. It's sensory-friendly, quick-drying, and smells like absolutely nothing. No wet hair, no clothes to peel off. Just a chance to feel less gross without making things worse. Best of all, the bottle says do not use more than once a day. So obviously, now you want to. Rebel rinse, because sometimes basic hygiene feels like an Olympic sport, and you just don't want to play.
If only it were that easy to feel human again. Let's get back to Frank. And I just want to say, it's okay if this feels like too much to even put words to. Sometimes these moments are just impossible. What has it actually felt like to sit with all of this since then?
I keep thinking, maybe I could have pushed harder. Maybe if I'd escalated sooner. I don't know. It wouldn't have changed anything, but at least I wouldn't feel so complicit. And now I'm not even a manager anymore, just repurposed, flattened. My boss said it would free me up to focus, but all it did was isolate me. I don't know what we're building. I don't know why anymore.
Looking back, if you could go back and redo any part of this, or if someone could have stepped in and made it even a little less painful, what do you think might have helped? Even a little.
Someone telling the truth. Not the corporate memo, not the "these decisions are hard" post, just honesty. If this was about margins, say that. If AI is the future, say that. Don't talk about values while dismantling the team that defended them. And I wish AI had helped us be better. More compassionate, more human. Not like this. Not ripping the soul out of the work and then asking the rest of us to sprint.
Frank's voice drifts even as he's speaking, like someone navigating without a map and realizing mid-journey that the compass was never broken. It was just taken away. Because in a structure built to reward silence, truth-tellers don't last, and those left behind are expected to carry on without answers, without tools, without time. But clarity doesn't come from control, it comes from reflection. And sometimes the most human thing we can do is admit that we're lost. That was Frank, a manager, a colleague, and just for a moment, a witness to the cost of silence. When teams like AI ethics are cut, it's not just a loss of jobs, but a loss of ballast, the people who steadied the ship when policy and profit drifted apart. And when someone like Frank is left to deliver the news, they carry the echo of every decision made behind closed doors. If you're hearing this and feeling the weight, as the person delivering the message, as the one receiving it, or as the silent witness to it all, remember, grief can't be standardized, and healing doesn't come from moving on. It comes from naming what was lost. If you've lost your compass, you're not alone. The map is changing, and we're all still drawing the lines. So that's Frank's story, and if you've ever been in that position, stuck between the decision makers and the people living with the fallout, you know how lonely it can feel. It's like suddenly the map you were following just doesn't have your destination anymore. What strikes me, listening back, is how often we're asked to move on before we've even had a chance to understand what we've lost. There's this expectation in the workplace, especially in tech, that grief is a speed bump, not a stop sign. But the truth is, if you don't name what was lost, it just follows you around. It sneaks into meetings, into Slack threads, into every half-hearted update you send. If this episode resonated or made you feel seen in some small way, I hope you'll stick with us. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on socials at Looped In Humans. For new episodes, teasers, and the solidarity that comes from realizing you're not the only one, up-late, refreshing old team decks. And if you want to support the show or just want early access to new episodes, you can do that on Patreon at patreon.com/humansintheloop. And hey, a quick note about today's sponsor. Rebel Rinse isn't real. We make up these sponsors because sometimes satire is the only way to talk about the things that actually get us through. But the reality behind it, that struggle to take care of yourself when work gets overwhelming, is something a lot of us know firsthand. We're actively looking for sponsors whose values align with the kinds of conversations we have here about what it means to be human at work and how to make things better for everyone. If that's you or your company, get in touch with us. You can always share your own story, your reflections, or even your questions using the contact form on our website.
This episode of Humans in the Loop, Out of Nowhere, was written and produced by me, Christina Simmons, creator and executive producer of this podcast. Voice talent for this episode, Michael Steven Schultz as Frank. Operations producer, Rana Cassidy, without whom none of this would stay on the rails. And a special nod to Ezra Strix, our AI narrator, whose voice brings clarity and calm to even the messiest stories. For more episodes, resources, and stories from the edge of intention and impact, visit loopedinhumans.com. Thanks for listening, and stick around for a sneak peek at what's coming next.
Next time on Humans in the Loop, what if the best mind on your team doesn't work in straight lines? Meet Alex, a cybersecurity analyst whose instincts move at the speed of a breach. His gift? Seeing threats before anyone else. His challenge? Surviving a system that demands steady over brilliant. When insight looks like intensity and intensity gets mistaken for instability, who gets left out? And what happens when the very brain built to keep us safe is the one we sideline? Don't miss edge of insight, burnout, bias, and the kind of brilliance most companies never see coming.